Okay, well, welcome back. What I'm going to be doing in this recording is trying to show how you can be creating a SysML model with a particular tool. And so the one that I'm going to refer to here is Visual Paradigm. And so in the intro video, I showed you these links, and I can include those as part of the description here. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sense of what we're going to do, what we're going to focus on. And so we're going to be focusing on a specific tool. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to download it. I'll just give it a fairly high level for that because it's going to be dependent on what operating system that you have. So I'm going to get out of sharing my screen for PowerPoint. And so the link that I was showing you will take you here. And so depending on what your system is, it'll come up with the edition that it's from the web browser to determine what is the right one. And so for me, since I'm using a Mac, it gives me the alternative of either doing a Intel Mac or a Apple Silicon, which is where in the next handful of years where all Macs will be. But for right now, there's a little bit of both. So download whatever one that you require. To make it work, you're going to have to register with Visual Paradigms with an email. It can be any email, but they'll authenticate it to that email. And then you're going to get a key, a license that you can then use for installing Visual Paradigms. I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to go directly into the tool and let you see it working as it is. And so here is what the tool looks like. And so I actually created one. And so I'll just go over that first, and then I'll actually um, go through the details of how you can do this. And so I just created something very simple. And so this is related to the research that I've done in chemotaxis, how a bacteria senses what's around it and makes a decision. And so these are what are called requirements. I call this the simplified bacteria E. coli. And so basically, I'm saying this chemotaxis shall do great stuff. And so this is not specific, it's a little bit specific, but just trying to give you a rough sense. And so the things I'm going to be focusing on are the signaling and the adaptation. And so the technical term, it's methylation. The chemotaxis shall adapt its sensitivity to ligand concentration levels. And that would be the first thing related to the general function of chemotaxis that the bacteria will do. And the other one is signaling. And so the chemotaxis shall perform signaling via phosphorylation. So a lot of times folks would want to begin with the requirements. A lot of times I find it's a little bit easier to start with a block definition diagram. So when you're thinking about your research question, what are the elements that you're trying to get some insight in? So this is the general process. You can call it a block. There's also you could actually define this as a system instead. I didn't do that specifically here. And I'm also just really quickly showing you some of the things that you can do and sort of pulling things up. So I accidentally created an extra block by showing you that, so I was able to delete that. And so I'm using three, the chemoreceptors, how it sends this thing, signaling through phosphorylation, and methylation, how it adapts to the concentration. So those are two diagrams that I showed you, the requirements, and then the block definition diagram, and then an activity. And so I'm focusing on the main function. It senses the ligands. It then does the detects the signals and then adapts to the sensitivities. And so this thing here is the initial node. This one is an activity. These two are activities, and these are activities. And what I'm showing here, these are what are called swim lanes. And so these are related to the blocks that I have here. So I put a swim lane for phosphorylation and and methylation. And so those are things that we have there. So that's just a really quick introduction to how it works. Let me go ahead and close this project and I'll start um, something fresh. And so I save that project, I'll close it. And so this is what you get when you open Visual Paradigm. I actually have the modular version. Yours will say the community edition. And so that's just something that you'll see. And so you want to create a new project. And then this window pops up. And so I'll just say sample. So this will be very generic, and I'm going to use the UML option. SysML is actually a subset, and then it's created some extensions to UML. So I'm just going to create a blank project. And so now that I have that going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new diagram. And so, like I said, for me, when I'm looking at modeling biological systems, I find a block definition diagram can be helpful. But I'm going to run through all three of these, the block definition diagram, the requirements diagram, and the activity diagram. So this is going to be extremely generic. And so I'll just call it a top level system. Not going to make it anything in anything specific, but just call this a top level. And I'm going to assume that it has three subsystems. I'm going to blow this up to make it a little bit easier to see it with the recording, and I'll put it all up here. And now I'm going to create a couple other blocks. And if you just right click on it, it gives you this option. So I'm going to click on creating a new block. So I'm going to choose the one with the dark diamond, and I'm going to call it subsystem 1. Okay, sorry about that. Back up. It's going to be a new block. Select that. And now it's going to create that block, and I'll call that subsystem 1. I'll just move this down. Then I'll do that again. Create this one with the solid diamond. Okay, now this is going to be subsystem 2. Fix that a little bit. And then finally, one more. And so what this is showing, it's showing them as a part association. Move this down here. Let's call it subsystem 3. So even by my terminology, you can see I'm doing it more in an engineering sense. If I was to be thinking more in terms of biology, I might use some different descriptions. But like I said, I'm just trying to give you a sense of how the tool works and to start out with that. So that's one block, that's one diagram, a top level system, and it shows you the type of diagram, a block definition diagram. I'm going to go next to creating a new diagram. I'll create a requirements diagram. And so if it doesn't show up here, you can start to just type in a few letters of what diagram you're looking for, and it'll come up. And so I'm going to use the requirements diagram. So let's call it top level requirements. So just once again, just having a little bit of fun. The system shall do great things. So if I was to be focusing on my chemotaxis being a little bit more specific, I would want to have, trying to begin to describe the details of the chemotaxis. And I can show you that, but I'm not going to show it in this just general video. I'm just going to keep just helping you get a sense of how to build this. And so I'm going to make a next a tier two requirement. Just make a new requirement. And so let's say um, I'll just maybe just call it communication. So the system shall communicate with all subsystems, something like that. And so chemotaxis, it uses phosphorylation as a signaling mechanism. I'm just trying to give you a sense of what you can do. So I click on it, this little thing comes up in the corner, click on another requirement, sub-requirement level 2. Um, so did communication and maybe trying to capture some other function. Um, System shall function over three orders of magnitude signal strength. So that's just another example of what you can be doing. So let me see if we can try and. So, okay. So now maybe you're just observing how I'm doing things. And so this I find is a useful. Now I have a block definition diagram and a requirements diagram. And so next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new diagram. I'm going to create an activity diagram. So for my easy coli, I do the requirements block and activity so they show up on top. But I'll just, once again, if it doesn't, you just click a couple letters and it'll come up. So I'm going to do a activity diagram. I'm going to just choose blank and just call top level activity. So there's something called swim lanes that I find is useful. So I'm just going to do that here just to give you a sense of how that would work. So let me just scan here for that. I like to have vertical swim lanes, so I just click on this bottom thing that gives this other option of vertical swim lanes. So it defaults with 2. And so I can relate this to something in my system. So I'm just going to be putting it, I'll fix this. So I'm going to create one. All right, again. So create vertical partition. So it shows subsystem 1. I'm going to do it for each of these subsystems. Do this here, create vertical partition, and then one more. Okay, and I have a couple of these things that it did generically, so I'm going to just get rid of those. Comes up with the prompt, I'm going to say yes. Okay, let me try that again. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to just clear this out. So the diagram undo. So delete. just trying to this may not work. Okay. Trying to delete these other swim lanes that I don't want anymore. I'm going to try this one more time. I may just okay. Um, I'm just going to forego this for right now. Just leave these here, and I'll just move this one over. Um, Let me make this bigger. Move it over. Okay, I'll just leave those other ones there for now. Um, so now I'm going to create activity, and so say the first one would be sense. Put that associated with subsystem one. Let's try it again. And then signal. And response. So you see these are all verbs. So this is trying to describe what it's doing. So and I'm trying to put them in these three um, swim lanes related to these subsystems. Okay, I'm going to put a initial node. And so then I want to connect that initial node to sense. So okay, so that one's connected to that. Want to connect to the sense to the signal. I'll try that again. Connected to it's unfortunate since I go back before between a couple of different tools. Um, Sometimes I get a little bit the syntax for doing some of the stuff is different, so you're seeing a little bit of that, so apologize for that. So um, okay. And then finally, I'll put an end. So this is the final node. And so let's call it, okay, create a new one. Let's have it go over here. And there we go. So I'm just going to leave these other ones. I'm getting the wrong keystroke to delete them. You can start to clean these up. But that just gives you a rough sense of how to build one. So what I have right now, I have the requirements. You saw that I created a couple high-level requirement samples, created a block definition diagram, just trying to start at the very top, so object-oriented approach. And then I had an activity where you can start to be specifying what it actually does. Um, and the thing I like about the Magic Systems of System Architect is you can actually make this run through these steps. You can do that with Visual Paradigm, but it's an add-on that's a lot more expensive, and so I'm not going to be able to show that with this tool. So that's going to be it for now. That just gives you a little bit of a sense of how to be doing some modeling with visual paradigms. So thank you very much.